Guys, are we on? Is it working? I'm having some technical difficulties as usual because I would never be able to have a live chat without technical difficulties. That just seems like par for the course, I guess. Yeah, I can't even tell if this is working. So, Brutus, please stop. So hopefully it'll work. Just let me get set up here for a sec. I'm trying to manage this so that I can be on my laptop and talking to you guys. But my iPad doesn't really want to cooperate. There we go. So, happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. I wore my green today. I wore my green sweater yesterday, so today's sweater is kind of teal, but I got the green scarf and the green and blue paisley scarf. I am mostly Irish and British, which I've learned through 23andMe, Ancestry DNA. I did the results I got the results years ago, but 23andMe has updated their algorithms and things like that when it comes to ancestry and DNA, so they kind of fine-tuned it. So I wanted to check earlier just out of curiosity to see what it said, and I was kind of surprised by some of the ancestry results. I mean, some of it I obviously knew. Some of it was surprising to me, though, so I kind of am curious to maybe do a different company, DNA testing from a different company other than 23andMe, and see if the results are the same. Very curious about that, but at any rate, happy St. Patty's Day from this part Irish girl. While I wait for more people to hop on, I will warn you of a few things. One is that I can't see the comments live ever anymore, so I have to resort to watching myself on my laptop while I talk to you all and constantly refreshing it so that I can see your questions and comments. So forgive me if I miss a question or a comment or they're out of order. That's just a technical glitch that's been going on lately. I don't know why. The other thing I have to warn you about is my dogs and cats. You can already see my Doberman. He likes to make a cameo in every single live chat that I do. I don't really mind as much when he's just butting in. It's when he starts barking like a maniac that it gets annoying. So hopefully, Brutus, he won't be barking too much. But they always like to say hi. Maggie, Pip, and Brutus are the dogs. Jack, and Theo are the cats. So just wanted to give you an advance warning about those two things. And I'm drinking coffee. I needed an afternoon coffee today, so I kind of apologize for the rudeness of that, but it is what it is. So in the meantime, while I wait for questions, I will give you this little coffee recipe that I think is fantastic. So I know a lot of us with autoimmune conditions are always looking for different dietary and nutritional approaches and recipes and things like that. So I was turned on to the ketogenic diet by a translational rheumatologist a few years ago. I don't follow it strictly. The only dietary approach that I follow strictly is I'm gluten-free. I have celiac disease, so I really have no choice but to be gluten-free. So that I follow strictly, but everything else is kind of, I do it when I feel like it, and I just practice things in moderation. But yeah, my translational rheumatologist based out of DC told me about the ketogenic diet, which is a diet high in fat, but actually it's high in mostly like good fats and things like that. So there's lots of websites out there that talk about the keto diet. I haven't gotten super into it. But one thing that caught my eye when researching the keto diet was this notion of bulletproof coffee. So I don't know how many of you know about what bulletproof coffee is. It sounds so gross. To be honest with you, it's actually, you put butter in your coffee, which I know, it sounds disgusting. And it's not just any type of butter. Like, you don't go to the fridge and just take a scoop of like Land O'Lakes butter, or I can't believe it's not butter, and throw it in your coffee and that's it. It's technically supposed to be clarified butter. Which I never know how to pronounce the word. Forgive me for my ignorance. I never know if it's pronounced ghee or ghee, but it's Ghee. It's used in a lot of Indian and Iranian dishes, Arabic cuisine, South Asian, and it's basically just, they call it just clarified butter, or again, someone can correct my pronunciation. I don't know if it's ghee or ghee, Ghee, clarified butter. So anyway, the traditional bulletproof coffee, you're supposed to use a special brand of coffee. I think it's the guy that came up with the recipe. And you don't add any sweetener or anything like that. I have made my own version, which I much prefer. I've had the original kind, and it's a little too much for me. So I use about half. Thank you. So it's ghee, is that right? Long E sound? Okay, good. I really wasn't sure. I was about to pull up the pronunciation on Google, but I knew that one of you would answer the question for me. So thank you so much. Thank you. Please forgive me for my ignorance. I just wasn't sure. I've actually heard it pronounced both ways, and I knew one of them had to be right and one of them had to be wrong, so thank you. But at any rate, I made my own version of bulletproof coffee. So if you want to know my little recipe here, I use about half of the butter that they usually call for. So it ends up being like, I forget the exact measurement, but I think it's like half a teaspoon. So I don't use a ton of it. I store the butter. I don't refrigerate this kind. You don't have to refrigerate it. You just can store it in a cool, dry place. So I brew my coffee. Personally, I use just a roast from Trader Joe's that I grind, and no Keurig or anything for me. I have no problem with Keurig. I just don't use it. So I just brew regular coffee. In the cup while the coffee's brewing, I add about half of what they usually call for butter-wise in bulletproof coffee, but you can add the full amount if you'd like. Again, I think what I use is about half a teaspoon, and then I use a little bit of raw organic agave syrup or agave nectar. Again, it's not a huge amount, probably about the same amount as that as the butter, and then I add cinnamon. And then, I use sometimes a whisk to get those all mixed up nicely together, because if you've ever put cinnamon in coffee, it sometimes can get like chunky. So I kind of get that mixed up nicely, and then I pour the black coffee over it, and I add just a tiny bit of almond milk, not a ton, just a little bit, and I use unsweetened original almond milk, just plain old almond milk, and I get that from Trader Joe's too. And then I just give it a stir, and I drink it, and I enjoy it very much. If you're really daring, I have on occasion, when I'm in a really bad flare, added just a tiny pinch of turmeric to that. It's not your usual coffee drink. I mean, this isn't going to taste like some syrupy, sweet flavored concoction from Starbucks, but it's not supposed to either. And I really like it a lot more than I had anticipated liking butter in my coffee. So, at any rate, I apologize for drinking my bulletproof coffee while we're on the chat together, but I thought I'd give you that recipe if any of you are doing the ketogenic diet. While I await some of your questions, and please start the questions now, keep them coming. Someone I found in my email, my last Ask Me Anything live chat, somebody had asked me a question that I hadn't gotten to, and so I wanted to answer that today. Someone asked me about my skincare regimen, which, hey, I'll talk about whatever. Like I said, it is called Ask Me Anything, so not really RA specific, but as we know, A, I literally do talk about anything on these live chats, and B, a lot of these autoimmune diseases can in fact affect the skin. So taking care of your skin can be really important for people with autoimmune diseases. So this person had emailed me and asked me what I do for skincare. The answer, in short, is a little bit of everything. So I'm not, I can't proclaim to be like a beauty expert. I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not a skincare professional or dermatologist or anything like that. But my belief is your skin can get really used to, like, if you stick to one routine all the time and never change your products up. And that can be a good thing, but sometimes that can maybe not be a good thing because maybe your skin won't be as responsive to things if it just gets kind of like in a rut. So I switch up my skincare routine now and then. The products that I use very regularly, though, are a mask called Clinique City Block. And it's basically a charcoal-based mask. You leave it on for like 5 minutes, I think, and then wash it off. It's real gritty, and the charcoal is supposed to be really good for your skin. I think it's called the City Block Purifying Mask by Clinique. So I use that. I use Purify face wash from what is the company? I'm blanking now. Philosophy. Purify. Or maybe it's Purity. I can't think. It's in my shower. I should go check. It's either Purity or Purify by Philosophy. So those two I use pretty regularly. But my daily go-to, just like in a pinch, is I use old-fashioned Noxzema cold cream and also Thayer's Witch Hazel. The Thayer's Witch Hazel type that I prefer has rose water and aloe in it. So if I was just going to pick like one thing that I do all the time, it's the Noxzema and the Witch Hazel. I do moisturize at night, and I switch up which moisturizer I do as well. So sometimes I just use bio oil. You can Google it. You can find bio oil on Amazon. It's literally just called bio oil. And that's if my skin's feeling really dry or I have any type of scarring or anything like that. So on a really dry day, I use the bio oil. Regularly on a nightly basis, I use, this is all on my face, I use, again, by Philosophy, it's I think it's called Emergency Night Repair Cream. It's some kind of night repair cream, also by Philosophy. Those are my regulars. Sometimes I add in products that contain vitamin C because it's supposed to brighten the skin. And then on, like, my elbows get really dry and my kneecaps, I use hemp lotion, hemp-based lotion. And I try to stay away from things that are super perfumey because I tend to have reactions to things, and I just, especially scents and things that are perfumed, can bother me sometimes. Bath products and beauty products have even caused me migraines before. I'm a big fan of dry shampoo because I don't I don't wash my hair every day. So I'll just use a dry shampoo, and now there's a brand I found, I cannot talk today. There's a brand that I found that I absolutely love, but I bought one once at like a drugstore type place, and it literally gave me a migraine the second I sprayed it on my hair. The smell was just so potent and I couldn't do it. But yeah, so that's my skincare routine. It's nothing really fancy. Some of the stuff that I use is more expensive than others, but I don't use those expensive products every day. I try to only use them a couple times a week. The products that I use every day are actually very cheap. The Noxzema and the Thayer's Witch Hazel are super cheap. So, and the bio oil is not that expensive either. Another alternative to the bio oil that I've used in the past is almond oil. It's good for your skin as well. But yeah, the mask and the Philosophy products are a little bit more expensive, but when you don't use them daily, you can kind of drag it out longer. And the other thing is I don't wear makeup every day. I'm wearing it now, obviously, but I only wear makeup a couple times a week, so usually my skin is naked. If I'm just going to run errands locally, I just throw moisturizer on my face and go. I don't wear makeup every day, so I think that helps with my skin. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you guys, this is kind of funny. So after I got her email, I was trying to go through like what is my skincare routine, because it's not something you get asked often, and there's something else that I do that I had just purchased like a month ago that I was enjoying, okay? So I got it out to show you guys, and then I was like, wow, it even matches for St. Patty's Day because it's green, and then I dropped it down the steps and it broke. But I'll show you anyway what it was. I got a jade roller. I don't know if you've ever heard of a jade roller, but there's been an article circulating that a lot of women in some Asian countries credit jade rolling for their beautiful skin. I don't know how true that is, but I bought into the article and I'm like, hey, I'll give it a try. Brutus, stop it. Sorry, my dog is like digging into the carpet for no reason. So anyway, I went on Amazon, I read over some reviews, I tried to find a jade roller that wasn't the cheapest one because I didn't want a piece of garbage, but it also wasn't the most expensive because, let's face it, if it's a gimmick and it doesn't work, then I'm stuck with it. Well, I'm glad I didn't pay a fortune. Please stop, bud. Because I dropped it down my steps this morning and I have hardwood floors, so it broke because jade is like glass, for lack of a better term. But what it was, here's what it was. I was going to show you guys. It's now broken in two, so I need to get some super glue or Gorilla Glue and fix that. But yeah, here's what it was. And what you do is at night you just roll your skin, and you always roll, please stop, in an upward motion on your neck too. Always an upward motion because gravity pulls everything down, so we want to pull it up. And that's a tip also. Brutus, come here, buddy, come here. I think the mailman's here and he's freaking out. But so yeah, that's the jade roller. I do recommend it. I really like it. It feels really good on your skin. It's so nice and cool. It's really soothing and I love it, but I broke it. So that's my luck. But it's cool if you get one and you don't break it. But yeah, I learned that from, I was getting a facial once, which that's something I only do like once a year, if that. It's kind of a splurge for me. I know people that do them all the time, but it's the same cost as a deep tissue massage at the place that I go, and I'd rather get the massage because not being in pain is more important than having nice skin. But that was a tip that she told me, is always like apply product upward. And I don't know how true that is, but hey, the jade roller, same thing, it's just to roll it upward. And like for makeup, I do IT Cosmetics. Their foundation and everything is supposed to be pretty good for your skin. So that's the answer on the skincare. Again, I'm not an expert though. Someone just asked, so I'm answering. And now I will take any other questions. Please keep them coming. Oh, okay. So Katie, what kind of butter do I use? I personally, I use, for the bulletproof coffee, I use Trader Joe's ghee. So I think I found it in the section, it's not refrigerated at Trader Joe's. I found it in the section where they have like, I think like syrup and like maybe where the jelly and jam and stuff is, and preservatives, syrup, agave nectar. I think that's the section it's in. It wasn't in the refrigerated section, and it's in a jar about this big at Trader Joe's at least. But I did a quick Google search earlier, and you can find it online. There's a couple different brands that keep popping up, so I assume they're kind of like the go-to brands. And you can read more too about bulletproof coffee online. I'm certainly not an expert in it, but I kind of made up my own bulletproof coffee recipe and I love it, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. Okay, I need questions. I need questions so that we can keep chatting and so I can get to my giveaway, which I am doing one. So, let's see. Oh, you asked, okay, why ghee versus organic grass-fed butter? If the organic grass-fed butter that you're referring to is clarified, then you can use that. Ghee is clarified butter, and it usually is organic and grass-fed and all that good stuff. But it has to say clarified butter, I think, for it to be the same thing. And the reason that is basically a different proportion of good fats versus bad fats. And a lot of times the ghee products don't have preservatives. They don't have, there's no chance of GNOs or MSGs or flavor enhancers or anything synthetic or unnatural. I want to say it has something to do with pasteurization, but I'm just not sure. So don't quote me on that. Let me see if I can Google real quick. What I was told by the person that first kind of introduced the ketogenic diet and everything to me is that you want as pure, if you're doing like a higher fat diet like the keto diet or something like the Bulletproof Coffee, you want the pure, hold on. Brutus, please stop. Please stop. He is so much worse when I'm on one of these live chats than he usually is all day. I think it's like when a little kid is misbehaving for attention. Do you hear my dog? He's so weird. That's legitimately what he's doing. So I apologize. But yeah, so I think it's a matter of just how pure the butter is. You want the purest form possible. So I just did a quick Google when you asked me this question because I'm not an expert. And it basically says ghee has been used for thousands of years, quite literally. It's truly an ancient health food and definitely not a fad. Blah, blah, blah. It's in a lot of Ayurvedic healing practices. It's believed to promote mental purification and physical purification through its ability to cleanse the body and support wellness. Okay, yeah, clarified butter. It's literally just clarified butter, but it's simmered longer to bring out butter's inherent flavoring. And it removes the water and the milk fats, leaving a more nutritionally dense and nutritionally rich product. It's better than butter because it has its own nutrition profile without lactose and casein, and it's rich in short chain and medium chain fatty acids. So that's kind of what I was trying to say. Like, I think it has more of the good fats than just regular old butter, even if that regular old butter is grass-fed and organic and everything. So you probably can use either, but I just used the ghee because that's what was, recommended to me. So, cool. Okay, next question. That's so funny. Yeah, so you guys can relate to the dog. Sorry, I keep losing my voice. Kind of been getting sick, but you guys can relate to the dog situation, so I'm glad I'm not alone there. They sure are wonderful, but they also can be quite a handful. Okay, so does anyone else have questions? Please keep them coming. It can be literally about anything. It can be health related, nutrition related. It could be about arthritis and autoimmune diseases. It could be about some of the projects I'm working on or my books. Really anything in the news you want to talk about. Whatever. Like I said the other day, I definitely I like doing the live chats a lot, but I definitely prefer doing them when I'm not just rambling and I'm answering questions. It's much more interactive and engaging and fulfilling for me when I'm answering questions versus just talking. But, oh, cool. Okay, no, Katie asked, you said you've known about Bulletproof Coffee for a long time, but curious if I flared with butter. No, that's not the reason I did the ghee instead of the butter. It has nothing to do with my RA per se, but I do better on less, like cow's milk dairy products. So the more raw and organic a dairy product is, the better. And usually, ghee is butter, but like typically I try to stay away from a ton of cow's milk. So like I drink almond milk and, use other products that are dairy substitutes just because they can sometimes trigger a flare, both with my RA and migraines. So really the ghee that's in the coffee is really actually the only traditional cow's dairy type product that I personally use. But it's dairy is one of those things for RA patients that every patient's different. So your body may tolerate dairy just fine. Same thing with gluten. I'm gluten-free because of celiac disease, but there are people with RA that avoid gluten and dairy and things like that for their RA. I have toyed around with a ton of different nutritional approaches for RA, and I haven't found one specific thing that helps. So what I've noticed has been like certain dietary approaches will help for a period of time, and then I kind of plateau out and I have to find something new. So that's my situation. Amy asked, how do you stay so positive? A lot on my plate right now, and I'm finding it hard to stay positive. Girl, trust me, I am not always positive. I definitely have my days where it's very sad and hard, frustrating, depressing, anxiety-inducing, stressful. It's definitely a bummer to be in what some people consider the prime of your life and be dealing with medical problems that are, you know, the types of medical problems that most people never have to worry about, or else they don't have to worry about them until they're in their 60s or 70s or whatever. So it is very hard. It is very frustrating. I certainly struggle with comparing myself to other people and feelings of inadequacy, and you know, I feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be in my life because of my illnesses. I feel like they've robbed me of a lot of things and held me back in a lot of ways. And I know that I've accomplished some cool things and I have a really awesome life that I'm really grateful for. But then at the same time, I think how much better would it be if I wasn't sick? It's almost hard to enjoy things, you know, accomplishments, achievements, successes, or the good things in your life when you're sick all the time. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, you never want someone to have to understand because you don't want them to experience it. But really the only way that someone ever really gets it is if they get it, meaning they have their own health struggle. And I don't expect people who are healthy to be able to relate and understand, but that feeling of disconnect can be really isolating sometimes. So trust me, I'm not always positive. I forget what day it was, if it was last week or the week before. There was legitimately a day I was laying on my love seat just crying and like swearing, which is like kind of uncharacteristic for me, but I just was yelling like expletives, like just yelling. I was in so much pain and sick on top of it, and I had no other way to express what I was feeling other than through just crying and kind of yelling about it. I usually don't get to that point too frequently, but, you know, there is a point almost every day where I have to check myself. Like if I feel myself wallowing too much, I just kind of got to do something to distract and refocus my train of thought and refocus my energy. Like today I wasn't feeling great this morning, and I was really upset about some things that are in the news right now, which I won't get into, but I'm very worried about the future of healthcare and the future of medical research and things like that, and I got to the point where I was like freaking out about it. And I texted my husband, and he had gotten me a journal for Valentine's Day, among other gifts. And the journal said, "I'm so freaked out right now. A journal to write about your anxieties and everything like that." And it's kind of funny because I texted him, I'm like, I really need my journal right now because I was just freaking out. And I kind of texted my mom and was venting to her because that's something else that people don't think about. Like, you know, a lot of people have the luxury and the privilege to think about legislation and things like that in very vague terms because it doesn't personally affect them. But for me, a lot of this stuff really does at least have the potential to personally affect me. So there's a lot of abstract things that come with dealing with illness aside from the physical pain. So so today I was not feeling well physically, and then I was a little bit stressed out emotionally, and I was able to just shut it down. I mean, I don't know if you've seen The Book of Mormon, which is a really funny but really inappropriate musical. I mean, it is not politically correct at all. Very funny, but yeah, a little inappropriate. But anyway, they have this song called Just Turn It Off, and it's kind of just about shutting your emotions down and shutting other things down. And it's very wrong approach usually, but every once in a while I do have to do that and just shut down the negative thinking, because for me, I have a very kind of obsessive personality. I don't mean that in like a stalker way, but I do tend to obsess over things, so that can be really an asset in some areas of life. It means that if I want something, I'm pretty much obsessing over it until I get it, and I get things done, and I do things that I say I'm going to do, because once I have my mind set on something, I'm doing it, and I have been like that basically since childhood. But that obsessing can also be really counterproductive sometimes. So it's nonstop worrying and obsessing over things, and I've learned I can't change most of these things. So, what is the point of dwelling and moping and obsessing over it if there's nothing I can do about it in that moment? And so I've really tried to be able to compartmentalize a little bit and to just shut off that obsessive thinking and that dwelling. Because I have gone to talk therapy. I have no shame. I'm not ashamed of saying that at all. I know some people would be really embarrassed by that, and there would be some kind of stigma, but yeah, I don't care. I'm not embarrassed by it. And he doesn't prescribe medications or anything, but I just go and I talk to him. And that was one of the number one things he said to me is like, you live with so many, like talking to me, he said, you live with so many medical issues that it would be pretty much, you basically wouldn't be human if you didn't worry about them sometimes, or stress over them sometimes, or have some level of negative emotion towards them. The important thing is that you don't let that anxiety or that worry or that sadness consume you, and you're able to not dwell on it. So it's really healthy to feel those negative feelings, that you're human. It doesn't mean anything bad or that you're weak or anything like that, but you just gotta not live there. So like, let yourself feel the negative feelings, feel sad if you have to, feel frustrated, feel mad, but don't get stuck in that place, and kind of redirect your energy. So something I've read, a quote I've read before that I totally believe in is, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the quote in front of me, but basically it is, being positive does not mean everything is perfect all the time. It just means that you are able to cope with the negative things. And I wholeheartedly believe that, because I think that when people are too positive to the point to where it's it almost seems fake and inauthentic, I think that's really counterproductive, because everyone has bad things happen to them, and everyone faces struggles and has their own problems in life, and to not acknowledge that is kind of harmful, I think. And I think it's really inauthentic when people act like everything is perfect all the time and just hunky-dory, because nobody has a perfect life. I don't care who you are. And also, you could be the most positive person on earth and still have problems happen to you. It's not like bad things only happen to bad people and good things only happen to good people. We're all going to face bad things, so we just have to learn how to deal with them. And unfortunately for me, and so many of you too, is I have had to learn to deal with them because I've had a lot of practice. I've had medical problems since I was a kid. I don't really know or remember a life without illness, so when people act like I shouldn't be talking about my illnesses or whatever, that's hard for me to even reconcile. I can't even imagine not talking about them because they're such a huge part of who I am. They certainly don't define me, and my illnesses are not all that I am, but they are a huge part of my life. Sorry. My mailman just came, so if you're a dog owner, you know that's like the end of the world. Brutus, come here, bud. It's fine. He comes every day. He'll stop, I promise. Come here, buddy. Come here, come here. Come here. Oh, good boy. You're such a good guard dog. My other two dogs could not care less about the mailman. Brutus hates him, though. Oh, my goodness. Sit down. Sit, 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 sit. Anyway, what I was saying is, come here. I feel like I don't have a choice but to be positive. I have no control over these dogs. Please sit down. Sit. Brutus. Okay. So sorry. I feel like I have no choice but to be positive, because, you know, what's the alternative? The way I look at it is I'm going to have these health issues either way. So I can either try my best to be positive and productive and happy, and live a life of gratitude and fulfillment, or I could just mope and just waste my whole life and waste all my days being sad about it. It doesn't mean I never get sad about it. I certainly do. I get really sad when I can't do things because of my health conditions, or I have to worry about things that other people don't have to worry about. Like, for example, there's 2 concerts that I want to go to this summer. It's one of my favorite interests or hobbies or whatever you want to call it. I love seeing live shows. I love music, and I love going to concerts. And there's 2 that I want to go to this summer, One Republic and Kings of Leon. And I can't go to either one because of my knee replacement. So, like, it's really dumb, like, first world problem to be bummed about, but it's just an annoyance. And then with the Ed Sheeran concert, I'm like, should I get accessible seating or not? Because it's going to be 2 months into a 3 to 4 month recovery from knee replacement. And I may or may not be on crutches. Hopefully I'm not still on crutches at that point, but I'm going to be terrified of people running into my leg and undoing all the hard work that I've done rehabbing. And stuff like that that seems little and minor, and yeah, it's a first world problem, but it's stuff that, like, the average person my age doesn't have to think about. Or, like, we have an upcoming trip to Montreal. I'm really, really worried about walking and sightseeing and everything because I'm not having my knee replacement surgery until July. So I have to worry about that vacation. I have to worry about our Hilton Head vacation. I have to worry about even things like just cleaning the house. I mean, even housekeeping is very hard when you live with physical pain, illness, a disability, and people don't get that. And, like, people will ask me, you know, I'll say if my mom or, like, a friend is stopping over, like, I warn them, like, my house is a mess, like, please don't judge me, whatever. And they're like, why do you care? Like, why, you know, you don't have to say anything. It's fine. Like, no one's gonna, like, judge you for your house being a little untidy or messy. But for me, it is a big deal because it feels like, Brutus, come here. Sorry again. It feels like it's another one of those things that's like an inadequacy. Like my body shouldn't be getting in my way of housekeeping. Like, you know, it would almost be better if I was just lazy and didn't do it. But when you're in too much physical pain to do simple... Come here, please. Please, please. Brutus, come here, bud. When you're in too much pain to do simple tasks, stuff like that can make you feel very much less than. Brutus, come here. And you know what else? Not having control of your dog can also make you feel less than. No, I'm kidding about that. But come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Say hi. Say hi. Say I'm going to stop barking. Say I'm going to stop barking. Okay. So yeah, there are certainly moments where my health issues make me feel sad or bummed or inadequate or less than or just frustrated and angry. I do get really angry. And it takes a lot to make me angry. For people that know me, I'm pretty, like, chill and low-key, but I do get really mad about my health situation sometimes, and I get really impassioned by things surrounding health issues relating to myself or other people. So yeah, it's really hard, and I guess that was a really, really, really long answer. I don't have the perfect answer for how to stay positive, because as I've said, there's a lot of things that if you're dealing with an illness that you might have to think about or consider that other people don't, and that sucks. And it might be something as minor as, am I feeling well enough to go to the movies tonight? Or as major as, am I going to be able to have kids? Like, if I feel this crappy all the time, am I going to be able to take care of a child? I mean, or other examples would be like a vacation. Like, am I going to be healthy enough to travel? And it could be something minor. Am I going to be healthy enough to make dinner tonight or eat dinner tonight? So there's tons of considerations that you have in life if you're dealing with an illness or a disability. And, you know, I don't know how to best cope with that. For me, writing is a huge outlet, and it's been a way for me to cope. Trying to make myself feel normal helps. So like today I felt like crap, and I forced myself to get dressed and like put on normal clothes instead of staying in my, I think I had on, I had on Victoria's Secret sweats and a LuLaRoe top, and it was what I wore to bed. And instead of staying in that all day, I forced myself to change and put on normal clothes, do my makeup. I did not wash my hair, but I got ready. I got ready for my day, and it made me feel a little bit better. It made me feel a little bit more normal. So I still feel crappy, kind of. I feel a little bit better than I did this morning, but making that effort made me mentally and emotionally feel a little bit better. And I've noticed that getting up and taking a shower and getting ready and trying to put your best foot forward can sometimes help you reframe in that way that I mentioned. It can redirect your thought process and just make you feel a little bit better about yourself and a little bit better about your day. Because I know there's a lot of days that or not a lot, but there's a couple days every week where I'm like having a PJs day and kind of lounging in my pajamas or, sweats or whatever, no makeup, didn't shower. And I tend to mentally and emotionally feel worse on those days than days I get up and get dressed. You don't have to put makeup on every day, but, it does help to kind of get yourself out of a funk and kind of out of that mood. So for me, that kind of stuff does help too. Fashion's always been a big outlet for me in addition to writing. Fashion and beauty and things like that help me feel normal and help me feel like a normal person and help me feel like I look normal and look healthy even if I'm sick and I'm not normal. I think that's why I'm so tied into that world of fashion and beauty and things like that, because it makes me feel better about myself. And when you live with illnesses, it's hard to find things that make you feel good. The other thing is, obviously my pets. They're really annoying sometimes, and I'm always yelling at them on the live chats. But, they help me stay focused and positive and in the present moment, and they give me a reason to get up and get out of bed every day. I have a really strong faith in God. I'm not super tied to organized religion just because of the politics and dogma that sometimes surround it, but I'm a very religious and faithful person. I have a strong relationship with God and a strong relationship with nature and just the universe in general. So I have a really strong faith, a really spiritual side. I think that helps me cope, helps me stay positive, and my family and my friends and the work that I do, that helps me stay positive as well. Brutus, stop being a weirdo. He's making really strange noises. I apologize. Please stop it, bud, okay? So my advice would just be, actually, I'm going to read it verbatim. I posted something on my Facebook page today. I think I posted on my private and public page. And this was the thought that I had this morning, because I was having I've had a rough week. I've had a rough, couple months. Couple years, really. So actually, I'll read you two different posts, and then I'll move on to the next question. Just because I think they both kind of answer your question of how I stay positive. So let me find them real quick. Give me a second, guys. And while I'm looking, please feel free to leave me more questions. I will get to all of them. I have a little bit more time today than usual, so I will answer all the questions. So on March 15th, I posted this. And I think this certainly helps answer. And then I'll get to the second part. I wrote, the past few weeks have been tough. Actually, the past few months have been tough. Well, really, the last year or two have been rather difficult, if I'm being honest. Sadly, I'm not joking. But I'm going to stay strong, keep on moving forward, never lose my ambition, my hope, my faith, or my sense of self. Nor will I allow the world around me or my not so wonderful health circumstances or stress or politics or anything else make me become hardened or bitter. A soft heart in a cruel world is a sign of courage, not weakness, or so they say. I'm praying for good, healthier days, weeks, months, and years up ahead, medically and otherwise. I'm thankful for all my loved ones, family, and friends who stay patient, loving, supportive, and encouraging, always by my side. Hashtag keep the faith. Hashtag stay positive. Hashtag stay strong. Hashtag life is beautiful. Hashtag better days ahead. Hashtag don't let the world change your smile. Hashtag don't let anything steal your sparkle. Hashtag nevertheless, she persisted. So that was on March 15th. And then what I wrote today, and this is what helped me get out of my little mood today, feeling down about my health situation. I wrote, it sometimes amazes me what all the human body can withstand. My own immune system, which was built to protect me, attacks me daily. I've been handed literally dozens of medical diagnoses, yet I'm still here. That's a blessing. You can have poor health and a rich life if you remember that each new day is a gift. So, as cheesy and cliche as that stuff might sound, that's how I live it. That's how I live my life, and that's how I try to stay positive, and that's how I cope with my illnesses. So, thank you for asking, Amy, and I know you've been having a hard time.
That's how
I really do hope and pray that you start feeling better soon and get some answers and get some relief. One of the hardest things, Amy, I think, is not having all the answers that you want. So you know you feel like crap, and you know that you're dealing with this medical stuff, but you don't really know why, and you don't really know the cause. I'm not sure if that's your situation. I kind of think it is. I might be wrong. But kind of not knowing and that lack of control and the lack of knowing what to do next, I think that is one of the harder parts of illness to deal with. Like I always say, like, I don't want to be sick, but when you know something's wrong, you just want answers. You know, you just want to know what, what it is and what's causing it and what the next step is so that you can kind of move forward. At least that's, what I think. So, okay. Okay, so I answered Amy's question. I answered Katie. Who else is on? Leah asked, being young, how do you tell someone who doesn't really understand have these medical conditions when they ask? How would you explain struggles without sounding like you are constantly complaining? Hold on one second. So, Leah, yeah, that's a really tough conundrum. I know exactly what you're referring to because you want people to understand what you're going through. And you want people to understand because there are so many myths and misconceptions out there and a lot of unfair negative stigma that surrounds chronic pain and chronic illness. So if you're anything like me, you want people to understand. But also, if you're like me, you don't want to seem like you're complaining, and that's what you're asking, I think. So what I try to do is, I'm going to move this a little bit. Sorry, this is like falling over. Sorry if this is crooked, guys. Brutus, please stop, buddy. Sorry, I'm having some issues with this. Okay, hopefully that doesn't fall. Anyway, so what I try to do is, if I'm discussing my illnesses, like on my personal Facebook page or something, I try not to frame it in a way that is complaining. It's either in a way that is spreading awareness and advocating for the illness in some way, or it's something like what I read before. Like, yes, you know what, I'm going through a hard time, but here's how I'm going to get through it. That's on my personal page. Now, I created this page, Arthritis Ashley, so that I had an outlet where I could vent and I could complain about it and I could talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of living with chronic illness. So for me, that separation has helped a lot because the people that care, I don't want to say the people that care, the people that want to learn more about what it is that I do deal with every day will follow me on this page, and they will read my Arthritis Ashley blogs, and they will read my Healthline articles, and they will check out the work I do with the autoimmune registry, and they will try to educate themselves, about all of this. The people that kind of just want to know, check in, like, am I doing okay or whatever, they can get general basic updates on my personal page. But having this as an outlet is very nice. people can get as much information about these diseases as they want to. Or they can just look at the inspiring quotes and the funny memes, and that's it. But to me, any amount of awareness is better than none. So if they are coming on my Arthritis Ashley page just for the memes, great. If it's just for the political stuff, wonderful. If it's for my Healthline articles, awesome. But if they want to see my personal post about what I'm going through that day, then great. This is a place that they can see that too. But I realize not everyone has the time or the resources or the bandwidth to create a personal page and a public page that deals with illness. And not everyone wants to be public about their illness. Not everyone has to be an advocate just because they're sick. So I get that. And so what I would advise you is, always make it clear that there's an opening for people to talk to you about your illnesses if they want to. So if you are comfortable talking about them, just talk about them and frame it in a way where people know they can approach you with questions. Give people information if they ask. So you don't have to complain about it. You can just send them an article that's relevant and say, this is, you had asked before about my RA or lupus or whatever it is. Here's an article that kind of explains what I'm going through. Recommend books to them, recommend blogs and websites to them to read. Sometimes if it's coming from a source like that instead of from you, people tend to trust it more and receive it in a less biased mindset. So sometimes if you're saying, oh, you know what, RA is really tough. I have to take a chemo drug for my RA because, it's really starting to wear on my immune system. And did you know that RA can attack your lungs and attack your heart? I mean, yeah, all those things are true and all those things can happen with RA, but when we say it as the patient, for better or for worse, it sometimes sounds like we are being dramatic or just seeking attention. And that's a shame and it shouldn't be like that, but that's the way our society is. I mean, I've talked about this before, but I never use my handicap parking pass just because I'm worried what other people will think. And the whole concert situation that I was referring to earlier, I'm like, should I get the accessible seating or not? All because I'm worried what other people think. Went to a political rally in the summer and had some issues with standing the whole time. And instead of going and getting ADA seating, I stood there like an idiot and left in pain crying because I was worried what other people think. And that is, it's a curse sometimes to always be concerned what other people think. So, a part of this is framing your conversations with other people the right way. But the other part of it is letting go of worrying that people are going to think you're complaining. If you want, you can check out my website, arthritisashley.com, because I discuss this issue a lot, how to talk about your illnesses. And I kind of wrote a post within the last year or so, like basically saying, I'm sick of feeling judged for talking about my life. Like, I'm sick of people thinking it's complaining just to share my experience, because I don't complain a lot. I know people that have a lot less issues than I do that are not as life-altering or serious, and they complain about everything. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't complain a lot, but I do share my story a lot. And sometimes what we're doing is just stating the facts. It's not complaining. If you're saying, hey, my knee's hurting so much I can barely walk. Sorry, I'm plugging my iPad in. Hopefully that won't mess anything up. I'm trying to charge it. You saying that you can barely walk, that's not complaining. That's stating, just stating a fact. And if people take that as complaining, that's a shame, but you got to live your truth and you talk about it however you want to and however you need to. That would be my advice. And again, not that I'm some wonderful guru who knows everything and is in a position to be doling out advice, but if you just want my personal opinion, that's what it is. And it's not easy, though. It's not easy to talk about something as personal and vulnerable as your illness and your feelings about your illness. So it's really up to you how much you disclose and when and to whom and in which way you disclose it. Yeah, some people are going to take it as you're complaining, but live in your own truth and just try not to worry about other people. I know it's easier said than done. I'm the queen of worrying about what other people think, in some ways. In other ways, I couldn't care less. But yeah, it's always a learning process when you live with an illness or a disability. All of it, the whole thing, everything about it's a learning process. So, I encourage you to just do what you feel comfortable with in terms of how you discuss your illnesses. So that would be my little advice there. Does anyone else have any questions? As always, I would much prefer questions to just me ranting. And those were some really good questions that allowed me to rant for a long time. So I appreciate them. Let's see. Well, while I wait for questions, I will discuss a giveaway. So my last giveaway, I announced the winner. Thank you. I'm glad that helps, Leah. That's a tough question to answer because there's really no right and wrong way. That it is hard when you want to educate and advocate without it coming across as complaining. It's really hard. It's a challenge that's, trust me, that's a challenge for me every day. And there's definitely a fine line between talking about your illness and complaining about your illness. So it's something you just got to learn to navigate on your own and tread kind of lightly. And it's a delicate balance for sure. So I can relate to where you're coming from. So guys, keep the questions coming. Now I'll talk about the giveaway. I announced the giveaway from the other day yesterday. Ken Van Pelt won a copy of my book, Sick Idiot. If by chance, Ken, you already read that, you can have one of the other 2 books I wrote, which are called Chronically Positive and To Exist. So if you haven't done so yet, please private message me your mailing address, and I will try to get that book out to you soon. Today's giveaway is for the ladies, or men, maybe. Or you can give it as a gift. It's for whoever wants it. It's a little, in honor of St. Patty's Day. It's green, because I'm cheesy like that. It's a little handmade pouch, see, that you can use to keep pills in, or like a little first aid kit. Like I do like a baggie I carry around with me that has Benadryl and Band-Aids and Tylenol and, a couple supplements and little medical things like that. And I just keep it in my bag for emergencies. Really, you can use it for whatever you want. So green for St. Patty's Day. It's felt, it's handmade. So there may be some little inconsistencies on it because it's a handmade item. So all you have to do to be entered to win this, so you can see it, is just leave a comment saying entered, and you can leave that between now and tomorrow, which is Saturday, March 18th at noon Eastern. I'll announce the winner sometimes this weekend. I don't want to promise you an exact time because I'm really bad with sticking to that. But yeah, anytime from now until noon tomorrow, just leave a comment on this video saying entered, and you will be entered to win. And I will put the names in a random winner generator like I did yesterday for the winner of my book. And yeah, we'll go from there. And I will also, in the little pouch, include 3 sample size packets of Deep Blue Rub by doTERRA. Deep Blue Rub is a pain relief, a topical pain relief lotion that's essential oil based. So you will win that little green pouch in honor of St. Patty's Day, and you will get 3 sample sizes of the Deep Blue Rub. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out, so I plugged my iPad in and now it's not standing upright. Sorry guys, just give me a second here. Don't know why. Everything has to be difficult. Here, let me try this. That's not working. Okay. Okay. So anyway, we'll just make do. I'll have to hold it with my arm. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, and I will still continue taking questions, but I got this in the mail from a company. I'm not sure what the name of the company is. Let's see. The company is called DPL, Deep Penetrating Light. And what this is an FDA cleared, medically proven pain relief device. It, yeah, I'll show you what it is. I'm not giving this away, sorry guys. It's worth like 179 bucks, I think. But I'm gonna try it, and I'm going to write a blog about it or post a video about it and let you guys know what I think. But I wanted to share it in case you want to check it out yourself. Fun fact, if you have a Health Flex spending card, I'm sure now you're saving it to use for medically necessary expenses, but you know, if it gets close to the end of your plan year and you need to get rid of that money because otherwise it just goes bye-bye, this is available on the FSA store. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a website called the FSA store. FSA, the Flex Spending Account, that's what it stands for, and it's for those Health Flex Spending cards, and this site has, the whole site is eligible products, FSA eligible products. So if you're like me, you've been frustrated that like you can't go to the pharmacy and use your Flex Spending card to buy like Zyrtec or Claritin or Benadryl or something, or Tylenol. At least I can't at the pharmacy, but through the FSA site you can. And anyway, I first saw this on the FSA site, and I tweeted about it, and the company was nice enough to send me a sample to try. So I'm going to try this, and I'm going to get back to you guys with how it works. But I wanted to tell you about it since they were kind enough to send it. I have not used it yet, so I can't really give you know, my input on it. But what it's supposed to do is enhance the natural healing process through increased circulation to the treatment area. Again, it is cleared by the FDA. It uses light energy to soothe sore and achy muscles and joints. It targets specific areas of the body that cause pain and stiffness. It maximizes the effectiveness of pain creams and ointments. It uses red and infrared light that has the ability to reach deep tissues, stimulating cellular repair and increasing circulation, which enhances healing and pain relief naturally. It was developed by a doctor. There's a doctor that endorses it on the back, named Dr. Joseph Humani, or Humani maybe. It says it is all natural, no side effects, drug-free therapy, non-invasive, fast relief time, fast treatment time, large treatment area, easy to use, safe and effective, engineered to last years. And again, it uses red and infrared LED lights. So if you've ever heard somebody, that's backwards on there, but the front of it just says FDA cleared and medically proven pain relief for arthritis, back, tendonitis, knee, fibromyalgia, ankle, leg, wrist, muscles, joints, shoulder, neck, neuropathy, hip, bursitis, elbow, muscle spasms, aches, and strains. It says it temporarily reduces pain from arthritis, trauma, strains, and more. But anyway, if you've ever heard anybody talking about LED therapy or light therapy, this is probably what they're talking for. So I think this company, they make many different forms of pain relief therapy like this. This one is like a larger pad, but they have like a couple other things like mitts that you put your hands in for arthritis, I think, that are LED therapy, and a couple other things. But they also make products that help whiten your teeth, I think, like something with your teeth. And then also for your skin, they have LED light therapy for skin care. So something to keep in mind. You could check this brand out. I think they're the only brand that has this kind of LED light therapy. So it's a newer treatment. There's the box if you want to, like I said, I think this is valued at like $179. But on that FSA store site that I was talking about, I've seen it on sale for as little as, not as little, it's still expensive, but I mean, I've seen it for like $99. So there's definitely a variation, or I should say a wide range in the pricing of it. But I'm going to take it out of the box and show you guys. So here's the box. My only fault with it so far is I was kind of hoping it was battery operated, so that I'm not having to use it like by an outlet or whatever. You can plug it into your computer though, because it is a USB. And then here's the pad. That's the size of the pad, so you could put it on your shoulder, your neck, lower back, whatever. And these are just straps to help, like if say you wanted to wrap it like around your knee or whatever, you would use those straps. It does say consult your doctor if you're pregnant, have any suspicious or cancerous lesions, are taking drugs known to cause sensitivity to light, or you recently had a steroid injection. So those are precautions to take. It does say, this is interesting, some people that use aspirin and ibuprofen, or if you have a skin condition, could experience a mild flare-up of your symptoms, but that's rare. So yeah, anyway, this is what it looks like. You can plug it into a computer, or it has a wall outlet it comes with. So you plug it into there and plug it into your wall. Right now my phone is plugged into my computer, but or my iPad. I'll plug this in briefly though, just to show you. I'll see if this works by plugging it into the computer. You might have to plug it into the wall. We'll see. This is new to me, so I am learning about it right alongside you guys. And I would definitely leave my thoughts and reviews on it. Okay, so we're gonna see if it works plugging into the computer. Oh yes, it does. I don't want to blind anybody, but see? Yeah. So hopefully that's not like blinding anyone, but there you go. It is supposed to, I'm just using an off and on switch here. It uses LED, red, and infrared lighting. So there you go. I will let you all know how I like it and if it gives me any kind of relief. I'm always up for trying new things. If it could possibly help me feel better, I will try almost anything, including freezing myself, which has been interesting, the cryotherapy. Still going. Still don't know if it works or not. I have one session left, so I might go tomorrow or next weekend. Yeah. So I think I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about today. I would love it if I had a couple more questions before I go, but if I don't, that's fine too. Let me just refresh on here and see if any of you have any questions. My coffee's getting cold, but so yeah, I'll just wait on here a couple more minutes for any other questions. But again, the giveaway of that little pouch with the deep blue rub samples, all you have to do is comment enter on this chat between now and noon Eastern tomorrow, and you'll be entered to win. I will use a random name selector, random name generator. It selects winners for online contests, and I'll announce it probably this weekend or maybe Monday. Yeah, so again, I'll stay on just for a couple minutes in case there's more questions. Enter the contest if you want the little pouch and the deep blue rub. Ken, who won my last contest to copy my book Sick Idiot, message me if you haven't already. Any previous winners who have won samples of deep blue rub or any of my other contests that have not received your prize yet, please message me and let me know, because I will be the first to admit I am not always good with checking my Facebook messages, and I get a lot of them. So there have been occasions where I've missed people. So please, if I owe you a prize, and please be honest, guys, don't try to get a prize off of me if you didn't win. But if I owe you a prize and I haven't mailed it to you yet, you didn't receive a prize yet from a past giveaway, please message me and let me know, and I will update you on the status, whether it's been sent or maybe I just forgot or I missed your message. All of those three scenarios are probably equally likely. So yes, if I owe you a prize, let me know. What else? Okay, so before I go, I do just want to talk about a couple things very, very quickly. You know I always have to plug my stuff. And I'm sorry if it annoys people. I don't know if it does, but if it does, I apologize in advance. Healthline. I have a new Healthline article coming out tomorrow. That's Saturday morning, March 18th. And tomorrow's Healthline article is about stem cell therapy. So you guys have asked me a lot of questions in the past about stem cell therapy. So here is your chance to learn more about it. I will share it on my Arthritis Ashley Facebook page and also on my public page, which is Ashley Boyens Shuck. But you can also just go to healthline.com tomorrow morning and search my name. And all of my articles will come up. You can search just Ashley Shuck. You can search my maiden name, Ashley Boyens. Either way you search on there, or you can search my full name, it'll come up. But yeah, so tomorrow's article will be about a new regenerative medication for RA that's a stem cell therapy via IV that's being investigated right now. Not investigated in a bad way, but it's in phase 2 in Australia. So hopefully something like that will be coming to the US as well. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Check out my past Healthline articles. I've got some really cool ones that have been out lately, including 2 that the Huffington Post picked up. One of those was about gender bias in healthcare, and one was about fashion for people in pain. The UN actually picked up the one article also about gender bias, which was really cool. The UN Women Twitter account tweeted it, so that was cool. So check those out. The fashion one features a designer named Michael Kaluva, and he's of Tumblr and Tipsy, which is a fashion line that's shown at New York Fashion Week, and has dressed several celebrities. He even helped to launch the career of Kendall Jenner, which, whether you like the Kardashian family or not, if you follow fashion, you know that she's a pretty big name in the industry and a pretty big model right now. So that's really cool. So anyway, Michael Kaluva has RA, and he has managed to use his RA for good by designing a line that he showed during New York Fashion Week that showcased what a visualization of RA would look like. And he collaborated with Creaky Joints on that. So it was really cool. So you can check out the article about him. And aside from my work with Healthline, I continue to work with the Lions Club. So anytime you can support your local Lions Club, please do. And if you want to keep up on the work that my little Lions Club chapter is doing, you can check out Robinson Lions Club, Robinson Township Lions on Facebook, and visit them at robinsonlions.org. And then, of course, the Autoimmune Registry, which right now is one of my passion projects. Really enjoying working with them. We are establishing a registry of autoimmune patients and trying to aggregate data about autoimmune diseases and become sort of a hub for autoimmune data and research and statistics and patient resources. The Autoimmune Registry is still very much in its infancy. We are a very new 501c3 nonprofit. We just officially launched the website in December, and we are still in the really early stages of starting to market it and try to raise money and things like that. So any donation in any amount would help immensely. Whether it's $5 or $500, we are grateful for any donations we get. We are also looking for board members and volunteers. If you think you would be a good fit to be a board member, or you know someone who is, please reach out to me. We prefer people that do have a personal connection to autoimmune disease, but it's not an absolute necessity. We really would like someone or some people that have skills in fundraising. So that's one of our biggest needs right now is help with fundraising. But if you don't know anyone and you can't volunteer and you can't donate, what you can do is very simply, very easily, just join the registry. If you live with an autoimmune illness, you want to do this because it's going to eventually be used to help autoimmune research, and our hope is to really reduce the diagnosis time and help reduce the number of misdiagnosed autoimmune diseases and missed diagnosis too, like because a lot of doctors miss these diseases when they are looking to diagnose patients, and that's a shame. And so we really want to work on improving the statistics about autoimmune disease prevalence, and we really want to bring attention to these diseases so that they get the funding and awareness that they deserve. My concern is that a lot of funding for medical research is going to be cut if certain things continue to go the way that they are, and that is an absolute shame. It is like a knife to my gut, given the work that I have done in trying to raise awareness and money about diseases like autoimmune diseases and cancer, and have donated my own money towards research and donated my time towards these causes. To hear that some biomedical research and grants to the NIH and the Department of Health and Human Services is potentially being cut or partially defunded is just, it's a punch to the gut for me. It's not political. It's I said it yesterday. To me, it's an issue of humanity and compassion and health, and it just makes me sad. So I'm hoping that all of our hard work at the Autoimmune Registry will not be undone by politics, but we will see. We still need your help regardless. So please take a few minutes and do the survey. It's really easy. It takes a minute to load once you get to the page to sign up, but once you're in and you've signed up for the survey and you start it, it's really, really easy. It doesn't ask for personal information. Like, we're not going to share your information without you knowing. It's anonymized data that is non-identifying. So take a few minutes and do it. It's really easy. And if you don't have autoimmune diseases, but maybe you're the caregiver of someone that does, you can take it and indicate that. Or you can donate. Any way that you can help us would be absolutely wonderful. It's free to join the registry. It's free, it's easy, it's quick, it's safe, it's simple, it's secure. Just go to autoimmuneregistry.org, click join our registry, again, I can't talk today. Click join our registry, or you can go up to the top where it says for patients and click on the drop down there, and you can access the survey there. So, and just as an FAQ, someone asked me before, actually a couple times, if the survey and the registry are the same thing. Yes, they are. So the Autoimmune Registry is kind of the whole thing. That's the nonprofit. But the registry is the survey, and they're one and the same. So filling out the survey is how you join the registry, if that makes sense. But we offer other things on the website too, like a list of all autoimmune diseases and description of those diseases. We have a blog, and we have, an About Us section, and we have a section that's about autoimmune research and statistics and things like that. So go check the site out. It's a little bit more than just donating and joining the survey. And we would appreciate you spreading the word about it. So please do. And I apologize for any technical difficulties that are occurring today. I also just noticed that my curtains need steamed big time, so that's embarrassing. But hopefully there weren't too many glitches on your end. I saw that this timed out and froze a couple times, so hopefully it didn't happen too often for you guys. But all right, let's see, what time is it? 4:47. I will stay on until 4:50. Sorry, I was reading a text. Yeah, I'll stay on for another few minutes, just in case you have any more questions or comments. But if not, then happy St. Patrick's Day and happy Friday, and have a wonderful weekend. Yep, just sitting here awkwardly, waiting for questions and comments. I think I've talked about virtually everything that I could possibly talk about today. Yeah, I don't have anything else, so I'll give it another couple more minutes. Yeah, my mom told me that, I'm reading texts here now. My mom told me that, for FYI guys, Eggo Waffles now makes gluten-free waffles. I did not know that. That is very exciting. She sent me the text. See? Oh, I guess you can't see, but there they are. That's exciting, guys. If you're gluten-free like me, every once in a while you get a craving for something unhealthy. Things like bagels and waffles are sometimes hard to find when you have celiac. So thank you, Ego. Okay, I don't think I have anything else. So if you guys are good, do not forget to enter the giveaway. And if you do have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you. It just won't be on this live chat. I said I'd stay on until 4:50, so I have another minute here. If somebody has a question in the next minute or so, I will answer it, but if not, I'm going to be signing off. Sorry, I'm reading texts and emails while I'm waiting. Okay, guys. Well, I think we're done here. So I hope that you all have a good weekend. Once again, happy St. Patrick's Day, and thank you for joining me in today's chat. Bye, guys. Have a good one.